always coming up short. This time, can they get over the hurdle? And for the Chiefs, of course, they probably should have already had their spot to Sweden booked. They failed the first job. This is now the second job. Neither of these two teams would want to drop down to the lower bracket final. The curse that awaits them, of course, stage 1, stage 2. Both teams that ended up losing said upper bracket final could not win the lower bracket final and ultimately missed out on those major spots. Let's head to the bans. Finca taken out from Elevate. That's an Ethan ban.
Yeah, that said, Elevate have banned Finca in their last 4 games. So, yeah, just I guess one of their bans I don't like. But yeah, as you clearly mentioned, Ethan from the Chiefs, very proficient on the Finca, an operator that he leans into, and no doubt not going to be able to play that. That said, I do remember at least one match in which he did transition over towards the the Jackal, which obviously aids in the roam clear here on Bank. In terms of the final 2 defensive bans, Valk and there are not too unexpected.
Yeah, I probably got a little taken away from all that coastline talk with Finca and Ethan, and probably missed the fact that Finca's the most banned operator from Elevate anyway. So it's almost like a 2-pronged ban. Elevate typically banning it, but also Ethan has shown his ability to flex onto it. Let's head into this opening round. Reminder, of course, this is a best of 3. This is the kind of match we would expect to be somewhat of a marathon. I'm not really anticipating like a quick 7-1, 7-1 or anything like that. These two teams, I think, coming into this match, guys, pretty evenly matched. And as the desk kind of put it, Bank, yes, it may be expected for the Chiefs. Coastline, kind of up in the air. I actually had a very quick look, guys, on Coastline. The last 5 times Chiefs have played it, they got a 4-1 record, only the most recent loss being that match against Order, which of course ended up sealing their fate, missing out on that top spot and causing them to come to the playoffs. So they'll be looking to redeem themselves on that map, and I too question it from Elevate's side of things. But let's focus on Bank first. We'll see what Elevate have to show on it. Of course, they haven't really shown us too much. The last time they did play it was back in one of the regional leagues in September. They lost to Q Confirmed 7-3. Outside of that, we've not seen anything publicly from them on Bank.
Basement will be the first battleground here for the Chiefs on the defense. Only really one operator pick that is standing out as being a little bit interesting. Ethan onto the Warden. I would assume that's in the likelihood that maybe Elevate will bring out, of course, the Ying, but not really going to be the case on this particular round. Could also be counters towards the smokes in the hands of Jackal, so maybe in a plant situation, Ethan will be quite useful. Now, we did see him off-site earlier, hunting for drones. Not sure if he's necessarily going to commit to that roam and stay off-site.
And the interesting thing here as well, particularly on this site, is we've seen recently in Locker CCTV some combinations of likes of, you know, Smoke and Tachanka. Chiefs being one of the teams that did employ that. Even Capital is something that we could generally see being annoying on this kind of site, and yet none of these picks have come out. I mean, obviously the Smoke, but you kind of expect that. So no weird strategies already from the Chiefs, and I think that's probably somewhat of a good thing, guys. Sure, we've seen the Tachanka be somewhat of annoying down there, but ultimately doesn't always have that success. The Warden is an interesting pick. Outside of that, though, pretty stock standard. For Locker CCTV as well, doesn't really offer too much. Fisher Guy generally around blue stairs, may have a shield, and that's about it. They'll keep it pretty much on site. Nothing too crazy in terms of roaming above. And for Elevate, that probably makes things very easy, especially bringing this Flores with those Roteros, clear out these shields, open up the way onto site, and that's going to be the plan.
Yeah, the Jackal as well, helping in the really early stages of this round. Top 4 was confirmed to be clear. And with those foot tracks continually being scanned, they know that up above is indeed quite safe. So that allows the likes of Sapper on the hard breach, the Maverick, start blow torching open this main hatch down in towards the objective. Sun was elsewhere, 2 per hatch to open those up as well. Worthy takes a hit, and APL pushes down blue. Both players low on health, but Worthy can fall back and play that C4 for the plant.
2 Nitro Cells available for the Chiefs here. Eric's is going to find the opening kill of this upper bracket final. And it is on to one of the MVPs of this region in Worthy, a player to keep an eye on in this best of 3. But not going to be able to keep an eye on him in this particular round. Onigiri will get Gold Legion. Suddenly, site now open for the taking here for Elevate, and they've still got 55 seconds. Another Rotero goes in from Napier, taking out that bulletproof camera, and Ethan now gets a little antsy, tries to make sure that no one can just push in immediately here. 40 seconds remaining, 3 versus 5.
Man disadvantage here for the Chiefs, but they do have the ability to deny plant. Maestro comes up in sight, and Smoke Babe's available. Elevate will probably be forced deep. Despite having the man advantage, could find this tough. Ethan accidentally throws a C4, can collect it, sets it up, and maybe throw for the denial. 20 seconds left as Elevate try to push in.
That was a good flash from the Fisher guy, went full white, makes throwing that Smoke Babe just that little bit harder, and Elevate can now start to make their way in. Napier in the corridor gets taken down. Nerix going for that plant, by the way. The C4 went out, but of course Ethan loses his life in the process. Plant gets denied, by the way. Happening, it's Fisher guy on the smoke defensively. No time on it. Gary has to just stick it. Cannot get off. 3 in the round for Fisher guy. And with his partner in crime, it's all Fisher though. Didn't even need Digital. What a way to start the upper bracket final for the Chiefs.
They hold on in the 3 versus 5, and there's probably a handful of officials where Fisher doesn't even get 4 kills in a 10+ round match, and he's already accomplished that here in the first round. Doing a really good job with the SMG, the Smoke Babes as well, to really delay that final push was so smart. Elevate in that instance. You know the smoke's still up. You know he has Smoke Babes in the hand. You need to send it deep, play with that man advantage, and trade out picks. Getting down the planet default is not going to work. Well played by the Chiefs, though.
Yeah, good start. Didn't panic. Held position 2 players early, but their ability to sort of reconvene is quite telling. Head over to Taylor's office and archives for the second round. Chiefs more than capable on literally every single site here on the bank. We've seen them all. Does, I think, more than anything, the Chiefs tend to head to Taylor's archives a bit more than even other teams when we do come over to bank. Open area staff is one they also like. Maybe CEO executive is the one that they don't play as often, I guess, yet we do still see it quite a bit. It just makes things a bit easier for the Chiefs when it comes to being able to choose their defensive sites. How they're going to play this, though, of course, we remain to see, but looks like a roam game is going to be established. We should go on the castle, then you got the Mozzie, you got the Vigil. Basically sums it up here.
A very aggressive lineup here from the Chiefs. In combination with the castle, now Fisher will be using those barricades up above, and that will nullify some of those rappel positions in the northern side out the front of the building. Rotations as well, the Super Shorty allows for the Chiefs to play quite aggressive up above, free flowing. Rotations in towards open area as well here. So Elevate will probably find the roam clear a little bit more challenging. Last round they sent in the Jackal. They knew that it was clear and took that ground really, really quickly. Here in round number 2 though, that's simply not going to be the case.
Back-to-back opening kills for Nerix. Found the opening kill onto Worthy in the opening round, and now captures out Gold Legion. That's the Vigil taken off the board nice and early. One less threat to deal with for Elevate. But of course, it's all about that late round execution. How many times have we already seen it? These playoffs, easy kill for Worthy. DCH was caught napping a little bit.
Worthy has been looking so deadly, so sharp in this stage. With the Roni in hand, he can do some amazing things. So definitely a player to keep your eye on if you are a Chiefs fan, or even if you're an Elevate fan. Probably someone you don't want to see lighting up the kill feed. Currently tasked with holding this stock position, trying to prevent top square control. Napier, though, does have his cross. Keeping in mind, though, that the hatch is popped in towards open area. So this is a pretty well thought out extension from the defense.
And this extension as well from the Chiefs just going to buy so much time. For a minute and a half remaining. Not a whole lot gained here for Elevate. Onigiri gets antsy over towards square. Very precarious position to just be kind of standing still. Now obviously backs back a little bit. I get some information on the drone. Napier's had enough and now starts to push up to lobby. This is really the go time soon enough with only a minute remaining. Bit of an exchange. Ethan loses his head and loses his life. Elevate regained that one-man advantage. Worthy. Is he going to get caught here by Napier? If he goes for the cross back, he will be.
Trying to play this trade up above. Drone goes through long, doesn't spot him, and Worthy will rotate around. Getting called now by the Dokkaebi on Onigiri. Using the last of those charges. Will this sound cue be enough to give away Worthy's position? Elevate with 30 seconds to go. Haven't really committed all that much to control up above. Likely going to go through lobby, but it looks like they're squeezing from multiple positions. Digital down on site. from behind. I believe that was Worthy. It was 3v3.
As soon as those shots rang out, but then Sapper captures Worthy, knowing he's still above top square. 15 seconds remaining. It was Fisher Guy in the first round. It's going to have to be Fisher Guy again here in the second round, but he gets shut down immediately by Napier. 1-1. Elevate right back.
Yeah, and I don't want to sound like biased caster here, but in my opinion, that was a Chiefs loss. That was not really an Elevate win. That attack, honestly, looked pretty uninspired. They didn't really end up getting the above control. They was quite stagnant for the majority of that. The reason they won it is God Legion threw away his life at the start, so it was a 4v5, and then Ethan got a little bit disorientated over towards that banana bulk, and he lost his life for cheap as well. So, unfortunately, they did put a lot of pressure on the rest of the team. Digital feeling the need to try and trade. Worthy as well, probably holding up above longer than he needed to, and there's always going to be very much a percentage play for Elevate to be able to get that across the line. So, obviously, you can only play what's presented at you, but...
Yeah. I think the other part of it as well is that sort of setup from the Chiefs, while good, while effective, it does also create an environment where you can't really get trades, you can't really trade back kills. Nerix finds an opening pick onto the Vigil, you lose that roam power as well through the Vigil, and then it just makes it very difficult to trade back positions. Worthy was the only player that was able to do so, but even then, as soon as he does that, he loses his life anyway, so it's really just it's not even a net gain, it's just a trade. Literally, in the end, the one thing that the Chiefs probably just need to work on a little bit right now is just not losing a player within inside of the first 30-40 seconds, guys. It's happened twice now here in the opening 2 rounds. Worthy the first time, then God Legion the second time. Playing at a constant disadvantage, not going to win you many rounds, so just a small thing that they will need to tweak up a little bit as we head over to CEO and executive.
Yeah, and we didn't quite get to see how God Legion, for example, lost his life in the last round. Was he going for a spawn peek? Was he just caught out of position and good pre-place from Elevate were able to catch him off guard? Again, not entirely sure. So I am anticipating a chance to be a little bit more cautious in early stages here of round 3. Bomb site upstairs. As I merge those words together, Claymore's pre-placed here by Elevate. As Chiefs may go for jump outs later in this round. That's a common tactic on this top 4.
I think one of the matches against Wildcard, they've played Wildcard twice on this map in stage 3. Apex South and OCN. There was a lot of jump outs in that one in particular, but I think since then, less so. Hasn't really been as common. And I think in a match like this, guys, it's probably not the time or place unless you are 100% sure that you're going to be successful. Probably just too risky for the reward in itself. Digital just holding its elevator position, especially on CEO Executive, such a common location to hold. Not bringing the Mozzie, though, for it, and can you believe it, guys? Guess who's got an opening pick once again for Elevate? Nerix, 3 in a row now.
Digital getting antsy. Peaks when he probably didn't need to, and taken down. So again, the Chiefs will need to fight from behind. These occasionally may repel here on that northern side of the map. Probably not really going to be using his Ion scanner to full effect. As I say that, they will activate and maybe find some feed and work out where at least one player is. Full sight here downstairs. Onigiri just wins that fight. Ooh. On to Worthy, survives with about 10 HP in the bank, and this is a really good start for Elevate. Yeah,
and not an easy fight for either of those two there, so full credit to Worthy for even almost getting the kill onto Onigiri, but Onigiri sharp on the Dokkaebi. Minute remaining and a 2-man advantage now for Elevate. Attacking on Bank so far, looking pretty good. 3 opening picks, constantly involved in these rounds, constantly at an advantage. It was only a Fisher Guy 4K in the opening round that got the Chiefs a round. And right now, that's probably the only way the Chiefs are going to be able to get that number dwindling down on the side of Elevate. Unfortunately for Sapper, having a tech issue there. Ethan now starting to throw out these gas babes, top of lobby stairs to try and deny Napier from pushing forward. That will be the last one.
In his front desk position. FMG in hand, could go large. Needs to find this pick on the lobby stairs. Trying to get that angle, but won't be able to find it. 15 seconds left. Ethan swings, but he doesn't win the fight. Nerix trying to commit to the plan over towards Closet, and Ethan needs to try and deny. He's scared of the windows.
Oh, no.
Of course, it's being held. Onigiri elsewhere does find a pick. Oh, Ethan's allowed to swing, but still can't collect it. Well played by Elevate.
I honestly don't think he knew that they were actually already in sight watching the window, unless he was just watching it for the rappel in or for watching the cross, I guess, but it was moving so slow, guys, that I honestly thought It's like he almost just didn't even know they were already in, already planning. I think Nerek's had about like 2 seconds left on it by the time he's starting to slowly make his way over. Messy round there for the Chiefs. It all began with Digital, well, I guess swinging out from elevators. I don't know how else he really dies there.
Yeah, I think he just swung elevators, tried to get that pick at the loan office window, but couldn't find his mark. So, look, again, a little bit unfortunate. And maybe that was a conscious decision here from the Chiefs in their match plan heading into this one. Get aggressive and really place an emphasis on trying to maybe catch the attack off guard. Get that opening kill, but it works both ways. And now for a few rounds, they've really had to fight from the back foot. Yes, it was still a somewhat close round and unfortunate DC there. The Elevate probably tightened it up more than it really should have been, but unfortunately, for Ethan in particular, unable to deny that plan. Maybe not having full intel. I don't know. I think they had a pretty good idea the plan was going down, but obviously didn't have as much information on that North Rappel as they would have liked, and that was being held, and Elevate did a good job.
We haven't seen obviously a whole lot of bank guards, but in the times that we have seen it, it is a map that is around that sort of 50% mark when it comes to attacker-sided or defender-sided. I think generally the attackers, they do well when they play that rappel game and they're getting those opening picks. Defenders generally do well when they deny really those opening picks and they keep 5 players, and then towards the back end of the site, it almost gives me consulate vibes at times on bank, honestly, but certain sites at least. Good start though for Elevate. That's basically what needs to be said here. Especially when you consider the opening round was a Fisher guy save, getting a quad kill to win the round for the Chiefs. Had he not been able to stand up like that, we would be looking at a 3-0 start to Elevate on the Chiefs map pick.
Round number 4 though means the basement now unlocked. It's Fisher guy. Got the 4K last time to win this out for the Chiefs in, I believe, 2 versus 5 or 3 versus 5. So he'll not be wanting to necessarily have to replicate that. Similar from Elevate though. Jackal up above, looking to clear top square and probably main stairs. Ensure that is clear. Flores as well to follow from Napew. Clearing some of this utility place at the top of these blue stairs. First is successful. Napew drones just to make sure. Fisher guy though, he wants to hold this for as long as possible and drain some time and resources from this attack.
Yeah, and he can basically hold it until the hatch gets blown open and then suddenly he can get pinched, and that's where you don't want him still holding that blue stairs position. Until it does get opened up, he should be fine. Although, by actually giving this up so early, I guess he doesn't lose his life for it, but Elevator more than happy to just drone it, get the info, take out this ADSs. Now you got control of blue. Work on this admin hatch as well, 1.5 minutes, so plenty of time here for Elevate. This is so far job done. Credit to the Chiefs though, guys. They haven't lost a player yet. Doesn't sound like a whole lot, but that's something they have really struggled with inside of the first 3 rounds. We'll see if it works out for them late round as Napew just continues to get so much vision with these drones. Now sends the Retario forward. The Flores has been so impactful here on Bank.
At this stage of the round though, Chiefs are still in a really good spot. Only 60 seconds left for Elevate to commit to a default plant. Still 3 gas babes available. 2 C4s, and Ethan can look through these smokes with his ability as well. So at this point in time, if the Chiefs hold on and don't fall away, don't give away free picks, they're in such a good spot. But Zappa in towards red finds one with a nade.
I mean, literally, as you said it, as long as the Chiefs don't give away free picks, and while Worthy probably didn't do anything too wrong, great nade from Sapper, finds the pick. Fisher guy, though, this is his area. This is the Fisher show right now down below in lockers and CCTV. He gets the kill back on the Napew. We probably used up all of his Roteros anyway. Fisher's now extremely low, under 30 seconds remaining. Digital trying to find an angle with that shot, but it goes both ways, and Onigiri able to punish him. Now can cover and watch Nerex, who's getting in, getting that plant down. And if it is successful, which it's not Ethan, though, denied, Ethan, but Digital goes down as well. Suddenly the numbers prevail though for Elevate. They forced the hand there, the Chiefs, but Elevate answered the call.
Oh, they just lined up one by one in the end there, the Chiefs. They had to go for a desperation play to deny that plant. They pulled it off. But then Onigiri so switched on, swings wide, finds that kill. And this has been a dicey start for the Chiefs. They are not looking overly comfortable at the moment. This is their map pick. They are struggling on these defenses. Again, 60 seconds to go. They're in the better spot. Sapper, though, really well played. Those grenades really dislodging that defense. And amongst all that chaos, the Chiefs just weren't able to provide enough pressure on that planter.
Yeah, definitely some worrying signs here for the Chiefs. At minimum, you've got 2 rounds remaining in the half. They need to get at least one of those, and maybe this ends up being a very open and attacking Bank. You know, the Chiefs obviously like Bank. It's why they chose it. They know the sight lines that they will need to open up, and the repel game. They are very proficient on the attack, just as Elevate have been. So this could end up being that storyline. It's why you don't want to get ahead of yourself too much here as we head over to Tyler's Archives for this eventual 5th round. So we don't want to get too ahead of ourselves, but if this gets to 4-1 and then 5-1, suddenly it does look like that doomsday scenario. The biggest thing for the Chiefs, more than anything, guys, at no point in this match have they been in control. At no point have they been setting the tone. It's been all Elevate on the attack.
Protect your bombs from being defused by
Statistically, the Chiefs have played Bank 50% attack, 3%
attackers have located a bomb.
the defense. So to keep in line and to grow their chances of being able to win this match and be comfortable on the attack a little bit more, they need to win these next 2 rounds. Otherwise, they're leaning really heavily on that 58% attack win rate, which is obviously going to be pretty dicey. And honestly, so far they just
10 seconds remaining.
it's really difficult to
Pinpoint.
you know, a single
5
player
seconds
or a
left.
single play here or there, but just overall, Elevate seem to be, one,
Attacker's objective
always
is
having the
to
man
defuse a
advantage,
bomb.
and 2, playing into it really, really well. Again, that last round, Sapper, his ability to just turn the tide of that round so instantly was such a pivotal moment, and they're just finding these moments time and time again. Throughout the first 4 rounds, they're making these plays, and the Chiefs are then always playing catch-up, which is really tough.
Yeah, and I really think and sense this may actually end up being a rather attacker-sided Bank, especially when defenders don't have access to a lot of info gathering through, say, the Valkyrie or the Mirror, both taken off the board. Really does deny that, and on a map which has a lot of these you know, repel windows, it's kind of easy to then find those opening picks at times. That's what we've seen. 4 rounds in a row now, Elevate have found the opening kill. So when you say it feels like they've always had that advantage, well, they've literally always had that advantage. Chiefs have never been able to get in control. They've never been able to stifle this attack of Elevate. Elevate playing really well, though, to their credit. And the Chiefs have just not been able to fight back. Maybe on the back of this tactical timeout, they can, of course, bounce back here on Teller's Archives. They've got the exact same lineup, same play. Fortunately, this time, God Legion's still alive. Can that Vigil be an annoying factor here that Elevate will have to contend with late in the round?
Archives defense, Napier up above on the sledge, trying to establish some third. I don't think Elevator completely satisfied the top 4's clear at the moment as they just make
There you
sure.
go.
From down below, Digital. He activates. It's his first kill in 5 rounds. Make it 2. And that's what the Chiefs need. Make these plays and get the advantage for yourself.
Yeah, and this completely breaks Elevate's attack now. And suddenly 3-2 is looking very likely unless they throw this round away. Elevate's got only 3 players remaining. They're all split up. Hard to trade these kills as well. Digital with the opening pick gives the Chiefs that full advantage. You can hold so many more angles. You can get that free license for God Legion or Ethan to maybe roam around, try and really put the pressure on. Yeah, definitely the pressure on. But Onigiri has been making this Dokkaebi work like crazy. 7 and 3 now. Brings it to a 3 versus 4. And now gets Digital as well. Chiefs are just lining up for Onigiri to take down 1 by 1. 40 seconds left. Advantage gone.
Now, the combination of the Dokkaebi and the Jackal are just freezing these players into wood sight. The Chiefs playing scared despite having that man advantage. Ethan, though, Bob Blue. Is there a drone on him? He could go for a flank. Nerix and Onigiri will no doubt die. Fisher guy as well with a good cross inside of open area. So, yes, they've dropped 2 picks, but they're still in a good spot.
20 seconds remaining in what feels like a very pivotal round. Ethan, top blue,
Here we go.
swings, and he finds Onigiri. He'll get the second. No, doesn't quite land the shots onto Nerix, but now does so. That's the Ethan we know. DCH with no health left, and it's God Legion that finishes off the round. The round that Digital started, the Chiefs will close it out after all. It's 3-2.
Well played there by Ethan. Disappointing, though, for Elevate. Seemingly not having a drone on the flank, despite a lot of their change of plans relying on having square control and being protected from behind. They allow that to come through. And yeah, 2K to, I guess, start things off and a 2K to end it. A little bit dicey in the mid portion of that round. And again, the combination of the Dockerby and the Jackal, these players inside of sight trying to be wary of that vertical control up above. There's angles being created, also, you know, being pinged literally on the map through that Jackal, also not wanting to expose themselves to Onigiri, who's in red hot form. So yeah, it's very much high pressure at the moment, not only because of the stakes that are on offer, but just the meta in itself in this matchup has been really, really difficult for both teams to deal with.
So Elevate won 3 in a row.
Attackers have discovered the
Chiefs have
location
been
of
able
a
to
bomb.
now win on Locker CCTV and Teller's Archives. Can they find success here on CEO Executive? Bring this castle once again, but this time on CEO Executive. So a switch up, guys, which is generally a good sign, right? I think generally if you're making kind of changes on the fly, you understanding something went wrong last time, let's change it up, let's fix it. Last time, of course, they had Digital
5
playing
seconds left before
over
insertion.
towards Elevators. He swung early on the Jaeger. He dies early. That opens
Attackers are
things up,
heading out to
and they
defuse a bomb.
now actually change it up a bit. They bring the castle involved, whereas before, castle has only been used on Talor's Archives.
Good start as well here for the Chiefs already. 2 drones down for Elevate, so they now have 8 for the remainder of this action phase. And it's often said that drones, particularly early in competitive games, that they're not necessarily used to gain information as such. I mean, information's only information's only useful if you can act upon it, is more so where I'm getting at with this. So
Yeah.
losing 2 drones like that means that you can't actively drone as much. You don't have those pre-placed drones to maybe know where positions down below that you might want to take, if they're clear or not. Yes, of course, you do have the Dockerby and the Jackal that you can lean into, but of course does compromise your position later into these rounds, particularly if you desperately need drones to find positions. So again, it's only a minute detail, but no doubt the Chiefs will be happy with a couple of those drones they've been able to steal away.
Bomb has been located.
We saw through our wonderful observer the heavy emphasis on the Claymores as well from Elevate. Understanding the Chiefs in the past have been very prevalent with their dump outs, especially on site like CEO Executive, where you can even do them towards the end of the round. And that position will be a factor late round. On the Repel game, kicking in towards CEO Executive, minute and a half remaining. Next, using those Selma charges to open things up. Digital, no surprise, a bit more cautious this time around inside of the elevator.
Strong Repel being held, but not against Worthy. He's been a little bit quiet by his standards, 3 and 5. But again,
Attackers have
it's the
recovered their diffuser.
nature of these kills. They're critical. Getting that opening pick is big. Sure, Nerix has already really expelled his utility, so in that regard, it's not that huge, but it's one less gun on the board. AK off the board.
Early gas bait from Ethan, but loses his life immediately afterwards to Napier. Over towards top square. 50 seconds remaining here in the final round of this opening half. 4 versus 4. In what feels like a tense, close matchup. Fisher guy pinned down inside a closet here. God Legion watching over towards the corridor, and he got Worthy still close by as well towards the desk. 30 seconds left, the push from accentuating.
I really think Fisher is going to be critical here. He needs to prevent these players from taking janitor control. Now there's someone from down below. The impact from Napier doesn't really do all that much though. Fisher, not dislodged, can still hold this position down.
15 seconds left, 4 versus 4. Elevate have not been able to find the pick that they were looking for. Now they need to steam forward ahead. Worthy inside of the smoke, catches Sapper's head, finds the kill. DCH and Onigiri both lose their lives. Napier, 2 for the round, but no time remaining to find any more.
Run out of time.
The Chiefs, when they looked like it was a slow start at 3-1, they find 2 rounds in a row to close out the first half. It's 3-3.
Yeah, solid job there by the Chiefs. They consolidate their position post tactical, and again emphasizing the importance of those tacticals, using them effectively, resetting the mental, resetting the momentum as well. A 3-3 scoreline, that's on par for them. That's what we would expect based on their historical data. Again, they have a 53% win rate on the defense. On the attack though, it's even healthier, 58%. And you theorize as well, Jake, maybe this match overall is going to be quite heavily attacker-sided, and the more I think about it, the more I'm starting to slowly lean in towards that position. So yes, a slow start for the Chiefs, but they are recovering.
Big part of that as well in the last 2 rounds, finding those opening
Attackers need
picks.
to
Through
locate
Digital
and defuse
in round
bombs
5 and
in
then Worthy in round 6. They finally snapped that little streak, 4 in a row that Elevate had accomplished, mostly through Nerix. You get those opening picks, it makes things a lot easier, especially in that 5th round on Talos Archives. Yeah, almost threw it away in the mid game, but when you got that 2-man advantage, really halts the attack, really makes life difficult for the attacking team. My question here is, and not that you will be able to answer, Guz, it's a bit of a hypothetical question, is how is Elevate going to play here on the defense, right? Are they going to be aggressive? Are they going to try and get
10
into the
seconds
face of
remaining.
the Chiefs? The Chiefs didn't try and spawn pick. There was no jump outs. They weren't
5
really
seconds left
even
before
holding
insertion.
aggressive roams, even when they had lineups that you would think would have that sort of aggressive roam on Talos Archives. They kept it pretty measured. Will we see the same from Elevate?
There's already one key difference that's standing out to me in this competition for the basement defense. No smoke. Being substituted, however, by the Tachanka and that Shamika launcher with those 14 flame charges can be used to slow down that push, slow down that particular execute or plant in that default position. Question and response though will be from the Chiefs. Do they go for the back push or do they go for that more traditional server through to side? I would think that they'd go for the more default towards the east, but who knows? We just don't know yet. So far though, top floor clear, very stock standard, very quick and very effective.
Digital on the hard breach, Worthy on the soft breach. APU on the Tachanka, which we mentioned in the first half, was somewhat of a viable option for especially Locker CCTV. Certainly not an abnormal pick. I guess the abnormality of it is, as you've already mentioned, not having the smoke alongside it. See if that's going to be a factor. The Maestro, though, I kind of like that pick as well with it. And I think when you add the Aruni, it's not a bad-looking lineup here from Elevate. How aggressive are they going to be, though, towards, say, Blue Stairs? We know that Fisher guy likes to hold that position for as long as possible, but then eventually give it up without losing his life. 1.5 minutes, and not too much really has taken place so far. Chiefs just kind of doing the checklist, but they have not actually really dealt with Blue Stairs at all yet.
Yeah, a lot of groundwork at the moment. 3 flashbangs to burn these ADS devices over towards top blue. Nate to follow!
No!
Oh
What?
no, God Legion with the team kill. Ethan getting a little bit too aggressive. Now God Legion
no.
needs to try and survive. Nerix, shotgun, mind you, in hand. Not even running the MP5, but he will survive.
What have I just seen in an upper bracket final, guys? Come on! And they all just try and eventually push in top of Blue Stairs. Finally, they overwhelm Nerix. You can forgive and forget though, cuz if you win the round, you can laugh it off, you can brush it off, and it's okay. Who cares? If you win the round, that's all that matters. 4 versus 4, 40 seconds remaining.
They need to get this wall open, then they have an Aruna gate to deal with. Then they have the 14 charges from Napier. A default plant here is not going to happen. Look at the clock, 30 seconds left. The Chiefs, they'll need to send it, try and find picks.
Yeah, and Napier still has like 9 rounds in that Shamika launcher as well, so 25 seconds left, 9 rounds. That's probably enough to stall out for the remainder of this round. They need to push through all the way to the backside here and try and find these kills. God Legion, though, loses his life immediately. Onigiri's on the ground, but all of the kills you would think from here should be on the side of Elevate. Worthy can't win that fight. Napier swings late round, finds a quick double. A bit of a calamity from Chiefs in that round, but well done, I guess, to Elevate. All the credit still has to go to them.
Blue Stairs. Oh, painful to watch there from the Chiefs. Ethan just getting a little bit too eager to quickly peek. Now, of course, they wanted to time that perfectly and get the kill, but unfortunately just wasn't quite there. Then, of course, they had about 45 seconds to open up the breach, burn the gates, get into sight, try and get plant down, avoid the flames, try and make your way through the Banshees. There was a lot going on there for the Chiefs. They were overwhelmed, they were outnumbered, and they were running out of time. Well played, though, by Elevate.
And Elevate now regain that lead for 3.
Attackers need to locate and defuse
Edge
bombs.
a bit closer towards match point. On the Chiefs map pick. Long way to go though still. Just kind of feels like the Chiefs almost tripping on their own feet in that particular round. A little slow going as well. Yes, there's a checklist to get through, Guz, but probably say Blue Stairs is maybe Well, this should be on high on that priority of that checklist. So much burnt as well, trying to deal with it. Then by the time you get to site, you haven't really got much utility left anyway. We're headed to this 8th round.
5 seconds to go.
Hasn't been the cleanest matchup from either of these two teams.
Attackers are moving to the
Both have been a little bit hit and miss so far here on the bank.
Impressive though from Elevate so far. They've only played this map once. That's the only data we have, and they lost it to Q Confirm in the Operation Thailand League. So we didn't really have much expectation. We didn't know what to expect from them here on Bank, but so far they're playing super well. Now again, the Chiefs on their attack, they are statistically favored, so we're not counting either team in or out at this point because it's just such a close matchup. And again, maybe that's a trend that will continue. Maybe maps 2 and 3 won't be very conclusive either. And look, that's exciting for us. It's exciting for everyone in chat watching at home, but if you're inside of the server, it's no doubt going to be very, very stressful.
Yeah, and obviously we've seen plenty of times in a best of 3 where both teams take each other's map pick before heading to the siding map anyway. So it's not exactly a given that if Elevate win here on Bank, that they're 110% going to go and win on Coastline. I mentioned a pretty good stat before. The Chiefs have actually had a very good recent record on Coastline, 4 of their last 5. So the most recent, the most important that they did lose, but nevertheless, they will not be a pushover. And they definitely won't be a pushover here on Bank either. Only 1 round the difference at the moment. And a good start to this upper bracket final between these two teams. You know that it's going to be like this maybe to all 3 maps if we're ever so lucky. Minute and a half remaining in the 8th round, and finally, Fisher Guy will get to work on this square wall. Opens it up with the exothermic charge.
Ethan already on the cross, that's nice. Now Digital, I don't know if he actually got that yokai before inside his stock. He did initially whiff it, not sure if he did clean it up, but either way, those yokai drones are going to be quite important for Elevate late round, gathering intel. Down below though, Napier, Nitro Cell in hand, prepared. The plan, God Legion, Narcos. Oh, he has a look, but doesn't quite clear the whole area.
I thought for a second he was going to sweep all the way over to Towers and make sure that the Vert is not going to be held here by Elevate, which of course we know it is, especially with that Nitro Cell. Napier can do some serious damage late round.
Onigiri as well in lobby, could deny. Really hit the shot. Oh, he just whiffs. Ethan able to get back down. Elsewhere though, where they did find a kill, Gold Legion as well. The Chiefs looking to make themselves known on site.
There was an opportunity, a brief one for Gold Legion. Nerex finds the kill onto Worthy. Fisher Guy just goes in. He's just going to stick this plant.
Yeah,
God Legion now needs to watch this here and watch the cross. Diffuser down, successfully planted. Ethan will now just jump out, can hold the repel. It's going to be a retake scenario here for Elevate. Nerex with the jump out onto Ethan. 2 versus 2. Right, as Fisher Guy found the kill onto Sapper.
30 seconds left. Nerex will need to rotate through lobby. Where is Onigiri? What can he do from this position? He's the one that needs to find these kills. Over towards top square. Oh, Gold Legion down. Swings, but Fisho wins that fight. Now it's up to Nerex. 20 seconds as he makes his way through front desk. Fisho, I think he may have just jumped out. Takes a little bit of damage and does so. He'll be able to play on the repel as Nerex needs to immediately stick. Goes for the jump out and gets the kill, but it won't be enough. The Chiefs will win this round.
I mean, at that point, he probably feels like, what can I really do? Let's be honest here. As soon as you jump out there, of course, no chance to get back inside and go for the defuse. So, 4-4, all tied up after 8 rounds. As we see the Chiefs finally, for the first time, I'll say finally, it's only been 2 rounds. For the first time, guys, they take an attacking round here on Bank.
Again, just so dicey in the final seconds of that round. Fisho just absolutely sent it. Able to get that diffuser stuck, and then so much chaos, the jump outs. Gold Legion trying to also jump out, but then getting tagged. Onigiri, honestly, I would have backed him to win that swing over towards top square and drop Fisho. If he did, Elevate would have won the round. So it came down to just so many of these really close 1v1s. The timing, the execution, just so incredibly close. And that seesaw nature we're seeing in this match was really evident in that round. Elevate though, they will reattempt.
And this is probably what we expected from this match. Let's be real, guys. We expected back and forth. We expected these two teams to play at a similar level. Vulcan Schilt over towards Elevators, 2 ADSs, just neatly tucked next to each other. For what's going to be a very important
10
position
seconds
to be
remaining.
held as well. An opportunity for one of these two teams, though, to get to that 5-4 position, the penultimate round before a match point round.
Attackers are heading out to defuse a bomb.
Map point, for those, of course, unaware, this is a best of 3. Winner of the best of 3 will go to Sweden for the major.
Onigiri transitioning over towards the Mozzie. We're looking to deny some of this information. That does mean the Kaid is no longer in play and there's no hard breach denial here for the Chiefs to contend with. That should mean that life's a little bit easier, particularly over towards Square. The Chiefs can expedite that process, expedite that checklist. Kanto wall as well will be exposed here from Digital. He can open that unless it got shot.
Did it get
Oh,
shot out?
Napier's in
Yeah.
lone.
Oh, what? He got shot from someone, and then I don't even know if it was Digital or not, but still gets the kill onto Digital. It probably should have gone the other way around. God Legion, though, at least gets the immediate trade.
Yeah, a little bit awkward there, and that means that that Salmo is no longer exposing that long angle upstairs. You can see a Vulcan shield pre-positioned with 2 ADS devices. So that is a bit of a key loss there for the Chiefs. Yes, they did get the trade, but ultimately I do think Elevate won that trade overall. Nerek's aware that someone's on the skylight, but that's worthy. Rotating over towards Square. I do think that Square is the play here for the Chiefs. No hard breach denial. It didn't seem like the setup over towards Stock was too extensive. No, it wasn't. Just open up Square, try and go for a very similar pattern to what you did last time, and I think they'll probably
Bomb
find success.
located by
Yeah, it would be
attackers.
essentially the exact same play, which that in itself, though, is, you know, always a bit cautious in repeating in a similar manner. You know that Elevator going to set up for it. No, okay. Oh, Ethan had an opportunity to kill Onigiri there, and almost did, and almost should still. What now? What is Onigiri doing? Is he just hard stuck there and can't get out of Ethan's sight? I'm not too sure from that angle, but nevertheless, it took 3-4 attempts, but finally Onigiri hits the floor, and the Chiefs suddenly with a 2-man advantage.
Strange round so far. Sapper though, what can he do? Over towards top square in the hallway leading into Janitor will fall back. There is a line of sight towards this top square position. We've got Legion able to walk straight past. Now, where are those yokai drones? To Elevate have good information to act upon here. Fisher still hasn't gotten these walls open with 30 seconds left, but the first will pop. Ethan still on the rappel, looking to hold the cross. Nerex and Sapper now isolated. This will be a tough round for
Worthy.
Elevate, and Worthy, he's on the lobby rappel.
That's what you expect from Worthy, and God Legion will finish it off with a knife. Chiefs gain the lead here, 5-4. And as plainly as you can see there in the chat, Onigiri will call a tactical timeout for Elevate, a much needed one, because the Chiefs now have won, I think, 4 of the last 5 rounds in, I guess, somewhat of a comeback. I mean, it was only a 3-1 scoreline. I don't know if that then warrants a comeback status, guys, but still, the Chiefs have been able to turn around what was a very slow start.
Yeah, and I wonder what the conversation at this point in time is for Elevate. I think that most recent round, the one they just lost, was probably the most disappointing, as in terms of the attack itself from the Chiefs, honestly, I don't know, it really wasn't that great, especially once the ace was off the board. They had that whole setup over towards Elevator, which they didn't really lean into on the defense. The Echo pick as well hasn't really seen much success. I don't know, again, we don't get to see exactly where these yokais are and what information it's gathering, but they haven't denied plants. They're not really disrupting these attackers all that much, and it just seems like Elevator playing very reactive at the moment and not really dictating the terms of a lot of these rounds. And I mean, full credit to the Chiefs. They're showing that initiation. They've worked past their blues on that first attack. Keep in mind, their first attack, round number 7, was pretty horrific. They had a team kill, time management was poor, they got nowhere near close to even sticking the diffuser or finding kills in the execute. So they've done a really good job to turn things around, and I think Elevate have had their confidence crushed a little bit.
And it looks like they're going to run the exact same lineup as they did in the opening round of the second half on Locker CCTV. The Tachanka is going to play a big role, of course. That Shamika launcher. But no smoke again. can't help but feel it's a missing ingredient for the idea, for the strat in itself. Can't really criticize it too much though, guys, because they did win it out in round 7 with this exact lineup, and they will be hoping to do so once again here on Lockers CCTV.
If this round plays out anywhere remotely similar to last time, Elevate are going to win this round pretty comprehensively. So the Chiefs, it's up to them. Speed up the map clear. Speed up blue stairs. Use less utility and give yourself at least, at the very least, they need a minute window to try and start getting this plant down. Anything less is when the Shamika launcher from the Tachanka is just going to burn out that default plant spot way too long. So that's when they'll need to transition to that aggression, drop hatches, find kills. And that's not really a position that I think the Chiefs are going to be overly comfortable in. So again, let's speed up this clear. Let's use less utility. Don't team kill as well. Forgot to add that on.
I was going to mention
add that into the equation, and then they might be in a better spot.
Yeah, try not to nade your teammate as well. That's generally going to help things for the Chiefs. At the moment, don't seemingly need like a whole lot of help here. Being up 5-4, that Rotero is going to destroy that deployable shield for Nerix. And that's probably already a good sign here for the Chiefs, because they didn't really put a whole lot of emphasis on blue stairs the last time out. They were, checking that checklist off elsewhere, opening everything else up, but kind of left it to the last second, and then you end up nading your teammate. And while you eventually do get Nerix and make it a 4 versus 4, there was only like 45 seconds left, and a pretty, one-dimensional attack was all that they had to offer.
I just love Nerix running the Super 90. This shot, the OGs in chat will remember when that shotgun first released on Frost back in 2016, that thing was a pocket sniper. At the moment though, it's not overly strong, so to see that in replacement for the MP5, always surprising, but I guess it makes sense in the context of a blue stairs hold. You want something gnarly at close range. Chiefs now, a minute 30. They need to make this quick. Blue stairs being scouted by this Flores, by this Rotero drone. Nerix spotted, will reposition. Worthy gets the kill, and they've already done so much better here, the Chiefs, compared to round 7.
Nerix missed the shot onto the Rotero drone, and to move out of the way, he ended up pushing over towards blue stairs, and obviously Worthy was already there watching and waiting. It was almost like the perfect trap. Digital, unfortunately, has been struggling a little bit here on Bank, has not been able to hit those shots. A lifeline, a reprieve for Elevate. The Fisher guy now with the exothermic charge can start to open things up.
Breach open, gate's still up though. That'll be the next thing to get burnt, but there's flashbangs in hand. Fisher guy is able to burn his, and he'll be attempting this plant soon. 45 seconds left, but here are the flames. Will they hit the mark?
Worthy watching all angles. I don't think those flames have hit the mark at all, guys. That diffuser has been successfully planted by Fisher guy. Didn't even take a lick of damage. Ethan's still above in square. Digital with a big shot onto Onigiri. Bank is falling apart here for Elevate. One by one, they fall to God Legion with a double. A flawless round from the Chiefs. They have map point.
And if you play round 7 to round 10 side by side, sync them up, you can see at every checkpoint, the Chiefs up their game. Blue stairs, the pressure was just non-existent from Elevate. The Chiefs with that Rotero drone clearing it, and then bang, they find the kill. Then in terms of the Tachanka, unable to deny the plant. Fisher just sticks it. Bang, that's another check done. And then in the last ditch attempt from Elevate to rotate up the main stairs, there was already someone ready and waiting with open arms. It was God Legion. Easiest 2K he'll probably get today. And he seals the deal. The Chiefs now with match point.
Yeah, and the most alarming thing now is 5 of the last 6 rounds in favor of the Chiefs. That is a startling fact. And Elevate, of course, have already used their tactical timeout. They can't use it now at match point. So far, nothing on the defense has been working, unfortunately. And we kind of did summarize in the first half, guys, when Elevate went 3-1 up and Chiefs called a tactical timeout, sitting there theorizing, is this going to be an attacker-sided Bank? And I would say we've probably had an attacker-sided Bank so far. Could still change, though. I would not be counting out Elevate. They're too good, they're too experienced. All it takes is the fortunes to change for obviously just 2 rounds, and suddenly you send it to OT. Chiefs have already proven that you can still find these defensive rounds on sites like Teller's Archives, on sites like CEO Executive. It is doable. But they need to find a way. And Onigiri needs to find a way to not lose half his health. What?
Yeah, it might have been off the impact. I don't know, but there are Kona stations, of course, but there it's on Thunderbird, so not the absolute end of the world. One thing to note, though, is the objective itself. We literally haven't seen Teller's Archives played here yet by Elevate. They've only played blockers. Keep in mind, they've won once, lost once, and then they lost upstairs twice. So this is an objective that's new for both teams in this matchup. Chiefs will need to adapt their push and be prepared to take above, get that vert, apply pressure towards those in towards side, and Elevate will need to do their job in denying this said push. So I'm keen to see how the dynamic shifts here for this particular objective, and again, being uncharted territory, very difficult to know what to expect.
Yeah, and in the opening half, it was split 1-1 between the two teams, so probably doesn't give us a clear indication as to who's going to be at an advantage. All you can probably say there is that the team that actually won Teller's Archives was the team that found the opening kill, and that's really the only sort of connection, I guess, that you can maybe find. The Chiefs ended up running a pretty extensive sort of roam game. The first time they lost the Vigil super early on for Elevate, they look like they're actually playing also pretty similar roam game as well with the Vigil. You got the Castle as well. And I actually kind of like the Thunderbird here too with the Kona stations. Unfortunately, has already had an impact by being able to heal Onigiri back up to full health. So that's something. Minute and a half remaining as Worthy will now swing on into Executive and obviously on the buck and cause quite a bit of chaos above, opening up some sight lines. There is a player towards square, and Onigiri just gets shut down immediately. There is that said opening pick, Guz. As I said, it has been important so far in Teller's Archives. We'll see if it remains to be so.
Worthy just so sharp. Now with these soft breaches up above and hard breaches horizontally here from the Chiefs, pressure starts to mount here on Elevate. Now it looks like there's an extension over towards open area. You could see that deployment shield facing the office. That's something that the Chiefs might need to deal with. Fisher there progressing over towards the lobby. If he can hard breach the upcoming wall straight towards the objective, then Elevate with the man disadvantage. Things start to look dire. Worthy again still probing on the verdict and elsewhere finds his pick. If Worthy finds this, surely it will be enough, but he can't quite confirm that one.
Time maybe could be a factor here, but it doesn't really matter when the Chiefs just keep finding kill after kill. They've got a 3-man advantage, 20 seconds left. Is there a way that maybe DCH and Nerix can play into this short remaining time? Doesn't seem like it will be the case. Gold Legion gets the kill on DCH. Ethan from behind sneaks up on him like a librarian. And that will be map point achieved for the Chiefs. 1-0 in this best of 3 upper bracket final.
Things started to look a little bit scary. The Chiefs' first attack was honestly atrocious, but they turned it around. They dug deep. They know the stakes on this matchup, and they pulled through.
7-4, ultimately a scoreline, guys, I actually wasn't expecting. I thought this one might even go all the way to OT. But what a turnaround from the Chiefs. They were down 3-1. They called a tactical timeout.